Hello everyone, I hope all is well. Thanks for joining me. I want to talk to you about Notebooklm. It's a wonderful tool that you can use. And if you've developed some, share it with others. Let's share. I think it's so important to share. Remember, AI is for all and not just some. And that is why I'm sharing this one with you. So sit back, relax, and watch this video. I'd love for you to start using the tool and of course sharing yours with me. Now let's get started. Hello, I hope all is well. I have enjoyed using Notebooklm. It is a wonderful tool. And as a matter of fact, I have been telling people to kind of get used to using it. It has so much to offer. I've created several notebooks on extended reality, Caribbean colonialism, and so forth. I have recently done one on teaching with artificial intelligence. It captures all the information out there. LMMs garner information, and this tool is also garnering information. So I've done quite a lot, and I want to share this information because I think you can be an individual that you can collect certain knowledge, you can study, you can learn about it, you can share with students, and you can just take your teaching and learning to another level by of course using this. And it's a wonderful tool. It's really impactful. So I spent some time in doing that, and what I like about the tool is that it has the ability to really add things to it. You can add a video, you can add articles, you can add up to 300 sources that it will digest and give you information when you query it. I've seen some individuals use it differently. I know one individual who is from a medical department, and he does a lot of work with this and actually has created some powerful notebooks that has to do with medical issues, right? I'm not saying it's 100% correct. You still have to verify, but it's a starting point for knowledge base. I want to say that. And I've done quite a lot. As a matter of fact, I have done something on Jamaica Post-Emancipation Society social studies. That's an examination in Jamaica, and if you do hear a little noise in the background, that is the rain. We have not had rain in the longest while, and I'm happy to have that rain. So I've done a lot. For example, understanding implementation as it relates to educational assessment using AI. So what I'm saying is you can get so much from these things, and it's about sharing. I want people to understand that there's so much out there that needs to be shared as it relates to artificial intelligence. So by creating these, it's important for you to understand the power behind them. Now, for example, Jamaica Post-Emancipation system we had back then, it outlines that. What I also like with this one, it can bring in a video too. It has the ability, as I'm outlining here, you might not hear the audio, to produce a podcast with two individuals. I've seen where it has produced a podcast that extends for roughly, I would say, 21 minutes based on the content. It gives you an idea of how intense it is. It doesn't pull too much from outside, I would say, but there's a possibility that you could get information coming from outside your resources that could somewhat conflict with what you're doing. Here you can see you can produce a quiz, a study guide, you can have answers to these questions and so forth, but you must also remember the checking of information is going to be important. And if you wanted to ask the system a question, you could ask the system a question. I just love the idea of interrogating, asking questions that will come up and you will get the answers, and then you can ask students to do the same. Students can also check the information that they get and to collaborate with another source. It is a start for information, and I want to say that I'm saying at this point in time, these sort of technologies will change the way we think about how content is created. I said to a group the other day, there's going to be a time that you're going to have to understand the need to update content in real time, and AI systems will do that. Here I have another one with over 101 cited sources, or sources I would say in general, that is about teaching and learning, that is about teaching with artificial intelligence. The issue for me is over 100 resources. You now can ask a question, you can create a podcast, there are some videos there, there's so much that you can gain, and I could up it to 300 sources, making it even more outstanding. I want to tell you that I'm so fascinated about this, because every time I go in, I look, I'm saying to myself, what next are they thinking of? And if I wanted to ask a question, I could then ask a question. It would give me information, and then I would need to verify that information. Of course, I'm using that, and of course, pull in. So if I wanted to add to that, I could add some information to that by saying, all right, I want to discover new sources, and then I would put information in, ask it a question, and then it would produce more information on that. But I'm not going to do that now, because I want to get some more verified peer-reviewed sources for that. Here it is, a podcast again. You're not going to hear the audio here, because it's a screenshot that I've done and I'm doing a talk over it. And then you realize that you can listen as much, and then you can export that in a MP3 file, share it with your students, and of course have that information. I want to point out to you also that there's a possibility too of getting the transcripts for videos that you import. You can get it, because that's a way forward too. So you can have transcripts for videos, and it's just a wonderful tool. Just think about the ability to produce things that you can listen. Someone who is unable to read can have the audio version of it, and so forth. So quite a number of them have created over time. I just enjoyed the creation, to be honest. I went on creating, and I'm going to create some more. I'm excited. So I want to say that I'm using it to do many things, not just for education. And right now I want to say that for us to leverage artificial intelligence, you need to be thinking about other fields other than education, because education is wonderful, but sometimes the journey takes a bit longer. And that is why I've looked at several other fields to ensure that I'm aligned with certain things. Medical field, the military, and of course various areas. I just love to listen to people, how they're using it in agriculture, and it's wonderful to know that the common nature of AI gives it affordances to every field that you can think of. But I want us to also be aware that we can create our own. In doing that, yes, I'm sharing with you, but I want to empower you to create your own. So for example, I created this one. It was a social studies one that I created. It can be used as a study guide. Again, it has a podcast. I'm not going to go through playing that podcast for an extended period, because you won't be hearing it anyway, because it's not you won't be hearing it. You won't be hearing it at all. But I want to encourage you to try developing certain things. I must say that this one that I have, it is a paid for version. I pay for a lot of stuff because I like to see how it works. I like to see and use it before I can tell you how to operate it. I've seen a lot of people just telling people things and they have no clue. I love this. Again, it has the ability to import a video into that. It's not importing, but you know what I mean. It's using a link. Let me use a correct term. Using a link and bringing that information in that space, that you can also have the transcript and also be able to view certain things from that video. It's wonderful to have. There are so many things happening, and we have to just align ourselves with them. Here, I love property ownership in Jamaica. I like talking about property across the world. Here's another video that you can see has been imported in. So there's a possibility that you can learn about property issues in Jamaica by this. It has several areas covered. I think it's close to maybe 101 polls that I did, or close to 100 that I did for that one. I want to show you how to maybe align yourself with another two. So let us look how you can make one for yourself. So you click on add. What do you want to add? You're going to put what you want to add here. And of course, we're going to talk about hurricanes in Jamaica or the Caribbean. I think it's a Caribbean we're going to put here. Okay, let's put the Caribbean. And then you're going to add your resources. Of course, you're going to pull that in at some point in time, and all these will be pulled in for analysis. It's going to do the analysis, it's going to summarize, and it's going to give you that. So you import, and you might do another import and another import, and you could import up to 300 sources in this one, because as I stated before, this is a paid version of Notebooklm. It is beautiful. Here it is, understanding hurricane impacts, and of course preparedness. Such a wonderful tool. Get rid of the ones that are not working, because you don't want them to pack your stuff up, and you get them out, and then you move to another level of importing more information in. This process, as I stated before, can continue up to 300. You have the capacity for 300. So if you have that capacity, you can build and build and build. What a wonderful space that you could do. So therefore, it's going to pull some more in. It's going to pull more information in. And I want to say that this tool is powerful. It can be used as a resource. Just think about individuals that do not have textbooks based on the cost. And you can have information that is mainly, in most cases, accurate presented to them in this form. It's wonderful. It's better than having none. But I want to caution, because I realize that we have individuals out there trying to really change the landscape of how knowledge is gained and cemented and, of course, transplanted from one media form to the next. And some people want to have the control over what is said and how it is said, and controlling the ideological positions. So we have to be very conscious as we're using these tools that there's going to be a movement towards getting rid of certain terms that are not needed by certain persons in our society. So I want to say, as you pull on this information, you have to be very careful of what you're doing, because what you're getting sometimes might not be 100% truthful. So ethics and the data you're getting and the sources you're pulling from, and of course we have to make sure that we kind of give a prompt that pulls in the correct information, and prompting is for another session. But I want to say that as we use these technologies, remember, we're using it for the good and the betterment of our society. This is how content is going to be created, and it's going to advance in our society in another 2 months or so. I see a lot of people using it, but just think about it. If you wanted to go sailing, you could create something that is a manual, can be used as a manual. If you wanted to go fishing, you could get a book that is written on the best practical ways to go fishing and sort of lines to use. I've never done fishing, so don't get me wrong if I call the word correctly or associated the word incorrectly there. But what I want to say, at this point, we're at a point that we can create our little books, our little zones, our little spaces, our little knowledge base, our little area that we can go and just sit and interrogate without having to do multiple searches. Isn't that a wonderful space to be? I am indeed happy regarding the advancement. This is just one of the most powerful tools I've seen around, and the ability to use it, I'm telling you, will change your mind if you're able to access it. There's a free version, but it allows you to do certain things, but I think you would want to try it. Build your own little Notebooklm and start thinking about the best way to leverage it. I want to say thanks for joining me, and please remember to subscribe. Get the algorithm saying that you want to see more of the content, and you will get more. Thanks again, and that's all for now.